Loki Season 2, Episode 5 ends on a very exciting note, setting up a major season finale as well as massive new powers for Loki. Following the major cliffhanger in Episode 4 with the destruction of the Temporal Loom, Loki found himself alone in the TVA just before it completely unraveled from existence. However, the return of his time slipping gave Loki a way forward to try and set things right. As seen in Episode 5, Loki started time slipping again, soon finding his friends at the TVA who'd all been sent back to their original timelines. This included Hunter B-15, who was a doctor, OB, who was a struggling science fiction author, Casey, who was a prisoner, and Agent Mobius, who naturally sold jet skis. Loki also reunited with Sylvie, who initially refused to help until she witnessed her adopted branch timeline unravel from existence. With that in mind, here's everything to know about Loki Season 2, Episode 5's ending and what it most likely means for the finale. How Loki can control his time slipping explained. A good amount of Episode 5 is very introspective when it comes to Loki himself. While OB convinces Loki to focus on the why behind his desire to control his time slipping, it's not until Sylvie challenges Loki about the real reason why that's underneath. For Loki, he doesn't just want to save the TVA. He wants to save the TVA because he wants to save his friends and not be alone. It's a massively crucial moment for him, which directly leads into how he's able to finally control his time slipping by the episode's end. This is very significant as Loki's new power essentially allows him to break all the MCU's previously established rules of time travel. Likewise, it's also implied that Loki can rewrite the story as many times as he needs to until he gets the outcome he's looking for, though there may be limitations which might not be revealed until Loki Season 2's finale. Regardless, the ability to travel through time and space and rewrite timelines on a whim is extremely impressive. It offers a whole range of possibilities for Loki going forward. What does Loki mean by who? A key element behind Loki's new control is the revelation that the time has finally come to redefine who he is and rewrite his own story. As he loses everyone he cares about while the whole of reality unravels, the God of Mischief recalls Sylvie's line from Loki Season 1 where she wondered if losing was perhaps a core-defining trait of all Lokis. Now, it seems Loki is refusing to follow that narrative going forward. He takes control and intentionally jumps back on his own personal timeline before Sylvie and all his friends are unraveled. The who Loki refers to as Loki himself, confirming to OB that was the key to his control as opposed to the why. Loki is determined to rewrite who he is in the MCU. However, the who is also who he's trying to save, those he cares about. What point in time Loki traveled to at the end of Episode 5. Loki then goes back even further in the final shot of Episode 5. As such, he's seen back in the TVA at what looks to be just before the Temporal Loom's explosion as seen in Episode 4. It's also likely before Victor Timely went out to try and fix the device, only for him to be immediately unraveled due to the intense temporal radiation coming from the loom. This should give Loki the perfect opportunity to rewrite the timeline and ensure that the Temporal Loom is indeed stabilized, thereby saving the TVA and all of his friends going forward in Loki Season 2's finale. However, it has not yet been revealed if there will be any consequences for Loki rewriting the present and future on such a massive scale. After all, the power Loki is now wielding in the MCU is huge, especially with no known boundaries and limitations following the events of Episode 5. Loki's plan to save the TVA explained. It certainly looks as though Loki will be looking to try again and fix the Temporal Loom before it explodes, using the throughput multiplier to stabilize the loom as was the original plan devised by OB and Victor Timely. However, he'll likely be suiting up himself this time around in the season finale rather than letting Timely go out. Perhaps Loki will be able to withstand the radiation better thanks to his new abilities. This also tracks with shots from Loki Season 2's trailers where Loki is indeed seen suited up, something he's yet to do in the episodes that have been seen thus far.